Hello, this is Bill Steffen. Happy Thursday. Would you believe I got one little sprinkle, not even any measurable rain from what we had come through here? I've had a little over an inch in like the last 3, 4 weeks here, and so everything is looking pretty brown unless it's irrigated. Well, we'll talk more about that in a second here. Let's salute the Ottawa News Network and make sure that we say hi to them. And our main story here is the beach hazard statement. We're going to have the coolest day that we've had so far this month. And we're going to have a northwest wind that's going to drag down some chilly air. There's a few temperatures already at this hour that are in the upper 40s up in upper Michigan. And so that air will be coming on down here, and it will certainly feel a little bit different. This graphic is from the National Weather Service, and it talks about the beach hazard statement, the increasing waves, which could be as high as 3 to 6 feet in that red area, which pretty much covers all of West Michigan here, as you can see. And I put off to the side there, the main thing is don't swim near or jump off the piers and breakwaters, because we get these structural currents on days like this. If there's a north or northwest wind, like there's going to be today, you want to make sure that you don't jump off or swim near the north sides of the pier. And if it's a day like this, the north side of the pier would be the side that the beach is on at Holland, for instance, or Stearns Beach in Ludington, the North Beach at Ferrysburg, the North Beach at South Haven as well. So just keep in mind, whenever it's really windy out there, don't be swimming or jumping off the piers, swimming near or jumping off the piers. A look at the lake forecast, again, 3 to 6 foot waves, waves increasing to 15 to 25 knots. It may not get quite as choppy as in the picture, but it may come close here during the day today. Water temperatures are all warm. Look at that. Everybody was 70 or better. When was the last time you saw that? And at the buoy at South Haven, they were all the way up to 76. Reed's Lake was at 83. But those temperatures will likely drop a little bit. We may actually get some upwelling, which could cause some significant cooling along the Lake Michigan shoreline here. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right. Severe weather outlook for today, not in West Michigan. We got 2 days where we will not be dodging any thunderstorms. There's a marginal risk from northeast Montana into southwest North Dakota. And well, the directions there. And then from Kansas and Oklahoma all the way up to New England. And that's just a marginal or level 1 risk. And then we move ahead here to the day on Friday. And the severe threat is a fairly small area, South Dakota, northeast Nebraska, western Iowa, extreme southwest Minnesota. It could be an isolated wind damage report. By the way, there was a handful of tornadoes in Wisconsin here Wednesday evening. There was a wind gust of 74 miles an hour at Navy Pier in Chicago. That's a pretty healthy wind gust. It gets to around 75, 80 or so, and it can blow you over. So pretty interesting, but no thunderstorms for us here over the next couple of days. Now we're going to take time out for a message from one of our sponsors, Complete Care Concierge.
The fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service, Complete Care Concierge, has you covered with business and residential cleans serving all of West Michigan, 616-264-1397.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Well, we're losing about 2 minutes worth of daylight each day now. Sunrise today 6:19, sunset at 9:17. Record high temperature for today, 99 degrees, set back in 2012. Almost made 100 that day, but not quite. Record low temperature 48 in 1958. Rainfall across the area. Now, this includes the Wednesday night rainfall. The prog hasn't updated yet, but pretty fair amount of rain across parts of northern lower Michigan and Wisconsin. And most everybody saw some rain, except, of course, for my house. And look at the rain down in Louisiana. I just checked right before we started taping here. New Orleans was reporting moderate rain, and the dew point temperature there was 79. That is really moist air. And with a depression down there to squeeze it out, they're going to see some pretty hefty rainfall totals. That red color there along the coast indicates about 4 inches of rain. So they're really getting the rain down there. And getting a little closer to home here, you can see the area that's not getting the rain is from South Haven up to Grand Rapids over to just shy of Muskegon. There was more rain off to the north of Grand Rapids. Once you get up into the UP, there were places, or not the UP, but northern lower Michigan, there were places up there that had over 2 inches of rain. And there were a couple places in Oakland County that had over 3 inches of rain over toward Detroit. But no rain at my house. High temperatures on Wednesday, Benton Harbor topping the list at 92. Fremont reached 90 degrees, Kalamazoo at 88, Grand Rapids at 87. And once again, Battle Creek, where they've had all the rain there, less than Grand Rapids, cooler than Grand Rapids here. Ludington Airport reached 83, 82 on the beach at South Haven and at the Holland Beach as well. So this was a couple of warm days we've had this week. And the Muskegon Pier, if you go way out to the end of the pier, they have a thermometer out there that reports once an hour, and they were at 79 degrees. So some warm weather. There's the tropical update for you. Western Atlantic, we have a tropical depression in the Gulf. 40% chance of it becoming a tropical storm, so we're keeping an eye on it, but that's still less than 50-50. And the main thing will be heavy rain from this, which will get all the way into extreme southeast Texas. They'll get a good soaking in Beaumont, Port Arthur, and maybe as far west as Houston before this kind of drifts north. The depression pumping moisture up is going to fuel a good amount of shower and thunder shower activity in the southeastern U.S. And in the Pacific, nothing going on. That's there may not be another tropical system in the Eastern Pacific until almost August. So that's really unusual. And we'll move on and talk about the Indian and the Western Pacific Oceans here. First of all, again, point out all the sunshine across much of Africa, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Australia, about 80% clear there. There are a couple of systems. The one in the Indian Ocean there really is of no consequence, really very minor and drifting far away from land. The one labeled 96W will be a minimal tropical storm going across Luzon Island, the Philippines, and then into China, but really not much of anything associated. Oh, look, it's some decent shower and maybe thunder shower activity with that, but really not much. Really, the tropical activity, the Earth is very, very quiet. We had the big Alaska earthquake, 7.3 on the Richter scale, but on the whole, the Earth is fairly quiet at this point. Moving on, our headlines, dry and cooler today. That should be today and Friday. There'll be a chance of a shower or a storm on Saturday. I'll get one more chance to get shut out here. Dry Sunday and Monday, and then there'll be a chance of a shower, thunder shower again Monday night and Tuesday. So keep that in mind. Temperatures today, Grand Rapids may reach 77 or 78. It will be cloudy in the morning and kind of cool, partly cloudy during the afternoon. And humidity falls to about 60%. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles an hour. It gets a little breezy, especially over by Lake Michigan. So there's your forecast. 78 Grand Rapids, only a 4-degree difference between Grand Rapids and South Haven with the wind coming in off the water temperature. And again, at the buoy, it was 76. Ludington, only 70 for a high temperature today. Traverse City, 68. Gaylord, 65. Some pretty cool air up across the northern part of our state. And look on the right, you can see the map there showing the blue color, indicating those high temperatures there only in the low 60s even along the Lake Superior shoreline. So a pretty cool pattern up there. And we'll move on to Friday, and you can see we've got similar temperatures, upper 70s here. Probably be in the 50s here early Friday morning, even in the city here. So that's a little cooler than we've been in a while. And temperatures warm back up into the mid-upper 60s to low 70s up across the UP. And I did add one more day Saturday here. Saturday it starts to warm up a little bit. We're back to 82 in Grand Rapids. South Haven, a very pleasant 79. It's been a really nice summer if you've been along the lakeshore, enjoying things there. And my cat has just stirred, kind of looking at me like, what's going on? I'm just doing my taping there. That is Ellie Lou. sits behind the computer and watches me, stares at me sometimes. All right, let's go on and take a look at the 5-day forecast. Becoming partly cloudy today. Mostly sunny on Friday. Should be a great day, but look at the low temperature Friday at 56. I could see some of the really cool spots like Baldwin reaching the upper 40s here early Friday morning. Saturday, 60% chance of a shower or storm. Sunday, I think the chance of rain's not 0, but maybe 20%. Don't worry about it. A little better chance for a shower or thunderstorm here during the day on Monday. And the long-range outlook still brings us back to above average temperatures over the pretty much entire eastern part of the U.S., below average temperatures out there in the interior valley of California over to Reno. They'd probably appreciate that. That gets pretty hot sometimes in Central California. Much of Alaska below average temperatures. And as you can see for us, now this is an interesting map. If you've got a lot of heat and a lot of humidity to the south, frontal systems are going to try and hang up from North Dakota to lower Michigan. And this is hinting that there will be a couple of pretty good thunderstorm outbreaks perhaps coming during that 6-day period. So we may close out July with some pretty good thunderstorms, and there'll be thunderstorms there along the Gulf as well. So bottom line, cooler the next couple of days, and you have a cat.
Yes, I found a kitty. This is Ollie, but he's the squirmy one, so he's not going to tolerate this for long.
Oh, okay. Hi, little fur ball. How you doing?
Right.
Neat. Yeah, I don't have a setup here. I really should put a table or something behind me here where the cats can jump up. They can jump up behind my computer, but I put my hands up here to try and keep them off the computer. And of course, the camera there's looking at me. So.
Yeah, he says, I've had enough. I've got things to do.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
This is our last show together before your trip.
It is? Oh, that's right. That's right. You won't be here tomorrow night. You'll be working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I leave. I'll be at the airport like 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. I'll be trying to sleep on the plane without much luck, especially if I get a window seat. I love looking out the window of airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a commercial running on TV from some one of the window companies where they have somebody that's pretending to be a gate agent asking somebody if they want a window seat. And he says, well, that's kind of expensive, isn't it? He's talking about it. And I'm like, no, I'll take the window seat right here.
And a few people from West Michigan have had sitting next to you on an airplane, and they get narration the entire flight.
That's true. That really is. I sat next to this woman from Fairbanks, Alaska, and she was heading back home as we were going up to Alaska. And we just had finally at one point I said, we're kind of, disturbing maybe people around us. But I kind of asked, anybody being bothered? We talked about all kinds of stuff. She talked about seeing the northern lights in the wintertime and how she never thought she'd wind up living in Alaska of all places. She doesn't really like cold weather. And I
People
said,
who sit next to me on a flight get nothing at all.
oh, okay.
Except the occasional, oh, sorry. And would you like some of my M&Ms?
Oh, I like talking with people. That's kind of neat. I like meeting new people is really fun, I think.
All right, viewer comment. You show us satellite pictures of the Western Pacific and comment on how clear it is over India and Australia since it is midwinter season there. How about throwing in their temperatures from time to time? Terry.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yes, I love Australia. I was an exchange student there for a semester in high school. I went to high school there. So I love talking about Australia. So let's talk about Melbourne, Australia. The average July high is 55 degrees.
The average high temperature for us in January, I believe, is 30. It goes down to as low as 30. So that's quite a difference. 55, by the way, for an average July temperature, that is almost identical to the average January high temperature in Birmingham, Alabama.
There you go. It's actually a good time to go there. You can put your coat on and you'll be comfortable and you can go walk around. And yeah, winter's a great time to go to Australia. Yeah,
and it's sunny. It's a great time for walking. They do get occasional rain, but boy, the pattern is this bubble high sitting right over them.
And the highest temperature they ever had was 115.5 degrees in February in 2009 in Melbourne. Yeah,
that's the air blowing right out of the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And it just bakes, and if it's really dry there, it can get really hot. Yeah, we've never been 115. The warmest temperature ever in Grand Rapids is 108. And I haven't checked what it is in Birmingham, Alabama, but I would think that would be pretty similar, I would think.
And speaking of walking around Australia, here's a photo that I took in the Dandenong mountain ranges, and you can get there by train from Melbourne, which is how I got there to do this walk. And this is called the 1,000 Steps Challenge. And there's not even a view at the top, so you don't really get anything for it. But it's 1,000 steps all the way up, and it's quite a hike.
And they must get rain there because that's pretty thick vegetation.
Mm-hmm.
To support rain, you got the ferns and a nice path. That reminds me of we did a day walk, your mother and I, in Hawaii through a rainforest, and it was a pretty long hike. But I love hiking. I mean, I told you last year I went 12 miles in one day on Mackinac Island.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
just
pretty
that
good.
sense of adventure.
And this is the water basin that serves Melbourne.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look that big.
It was. The photo must not be doing justice to it.
I note that the cumulus clouds, the stratocumulus that you see there, is similar to the clouds we have in the United States. But by the way, if you want to be as far away from Grand Rapids as you can possibly be and still be on dry land, it's just down the coast from Perth, Australia. And if you were to go right down to through the earth to then come out on the other side, you'd come out in the ocean there, in the Indian Ocean, but it would be closest to Australia.
So when I was an exchange student, I went as far away as I possibly could.
Yes, and they still spoke kind of English there. Do you ever get asked what languages you speak, and you tell them English, a little Spanish, and fluent Australian?
So for the first 3 months I was there, I would open my mouth and the reaction would always be, "Oh, you're American." And then about 3 months in, it flipped to, "Are you from Canada?" And the last month, no one said anything at all.
Really?
And then when I flew home, I stopped and I bought something in the airport in Phoenix, and I looked at the money and I said something to the clerk about how strange it was to see American money. And she told me to enjoy my stay in the United States. So, yeah.
Kind of, you're here for the long haul. What are some words that are unique to Australia?
The trunk is a boot. Flip-flops are thongs. There's a bunch of them. What I really picked up there more than anything was the music. I know both verses of the Australian national anthem because one day that'll come in handy. Waltzing Matilda, I still call Australia home. There's some good stuff.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, there have been a few groups from Australia. What is it? Men at Work. Let's see. Judy, what was her name, from the Seekers, was from Australia. In fact, all the Seekers were from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Sang "World of Our Own." "Morningtown Ride," I think, is my favorite Seekers song. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. All right. What else were we going to talk about today before we get sidetracked with Australia?
Lyman Park.
The Lyman Park statue, dedicated in Grand Rapids on this day in 2013. He was Grand Rapids' first African-American mayor. He was also the first Black city commissioner for the city of Grand Rapids. He lived from 1917 to 2009. He was mayor from 1971 to 1976. And at first he was appointed to fill a vacancy, but then he won re-election with 10 people running against him, and then he lost the election after that. He moved to Grand Rapids to pastor a local church that's located on 500 James Avenue, and that church is still here today. And as part of the Secchia Legends Project, so one thing that the Secchia family did was they commissioned statues all over town of people who led the city of Grand Rapids and helped the city prosper over the years. And Stanley Ketchel, we talked about him. That was another one that they did. So they commissioned a statue to Lyman Parks, and you can see it. It's not in front of City Hall, but it's like down on Monroe across from DeVos Place.
Right. And I've been past that statue many times. I met Lyman Parks. He would come into the station every now and then. Very pleasant gentleman.
Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find a picture we could use. So if someone's out there and they can get a photo and send it to us, we would appreciate that. But on this day in 2013, the Secchia Heroes Project dedicated their statue to Lyman Parks.
Oh, very neat. Yeah, I think that's very interesting because, of course, the next generation is not going to know who Lyman Parks was.
Now I want to go on a tour because one by one we're learning what the stories behind all of these things in Grand Rapids and all the different, like the bell in front of the museum, what they all mean and the stories behind them. Or across the street from that, the statue to the is it to women's suffrage or was it the furniture workers? I think it was the furniture workers that's in front of the museum. Yeah. Yeah, so much history, and you just walk by it and don't know the whole story. Okay, July 17, 1997, we got gambling in Michigan. Yay.
With the promise that all the money raised from the lotto and everything would go to education.
And some of it goes to education.
Yes.
So it expanded Proposal E. So there was a vote which only passed by 51.51% of the vote to allow non-Native American gaming in Michigan. And it covered the licensing. And so then the act that they passed after that further determined the licensing, regulation, distribution of revenue for the Michigan Gaming Act on this day in 1997. And today there are 26 land-based casinos in Michigan, 23 are Native American, and 3 are commercial casinos located in Detroit.
Interesting. And there are some states that don't have gambling.
Mm-hmm. July 17, 1970, the Grand Rapids Little Sisters of the Poor Home for the Aged announced its closure. It was a 5-story building built in 1898. And there were 200 members of the Little Sisters. And over the years, they served 3,000 elderly people in the Grand Rapids community that needed a place to go. And today it is a hospital parking lot on Heritage Hill.
Interesting.
And the Little Sisters of the Poor is still a religious order, and their mission is to provide elderly care and do exactly what they did here in West Michigan.
Well, so I'm going to be meeting some of them shortly. I'm getting up there.
It sounds like wonderful work that they do.
Yes. By the way, I was going to mention July 17th, and I can't remember the year. You and I drove back from Blue Lake into the most amazing lightning storm I have ever witnessed.
Of course, you would remember exactly the day this happened.
I know it was July 17. Can we think of a year?
That would have been my junior year of college, so it would have been the summer of 2003.
2003. Okay, so that's 22 years ago. I remember that storm so well, and it was awesome. It really was. I felt safe being in the car. You know, cars have been hit by lightning before, but wow.
We had gone to a concert at Blue Lake, and then you had us go to that Bob Evans that's there, and you like perfectly timed it. Like you had the whole thing planned so that we could drive home and stay in the storm the entire time.
Right. And we were driving, because it was raining so hard and lightning everywhere, we were driving slower than posted speeds. We were traveling about 40 miles an hour, which is exactly how fast the storm was moving.
Just,
we could have followed it to New York City.
Mm-hmm. And every time there'd be another lightning strike, Bill would go, hoo-hoo, like he's like Mario collecting coins or something.
I know. It is, I was born with this love of weather, and it has never died. That I still love weather just like I did when I was 3 years old and pointing out the lightning to my mother from that little apartment building on the 4th floor of the apartment on Seward Street in Evanston, Illinois, where we lived for 3.5 years.
We're actually talking about Blue Lake. It's in the show tomorrow. They've got stuff going on all summer.
Yeah, that's a great place to be. I should look at their schedule and see if we can get up there for something like that. It'd be a long commute for you.
Yeah, a great place to catch an outdoor concert.
Yes, it really is. And some of them
I tell band camp stories.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and they really do a good job. I really have enjoyed the concerts I've heard up there at Blue Lake.
Okay, July 17 is National Tattoo Day. Bill, if you had to get a tattoo, what would you get?
What would I get? It had to be something weather related. I would have to ask them as my wrinkled body gets more wrinkled, how can we keep the shape of a tornado or a thunderstorm intact? By the way, I have no tattoos, no piercings. I'm plain dull vanilla Bill here.
It could be like a dual meaning thing because a tornado does change shape over the course of its lifetime.
Well,
So,
that's true. That's true. Maybe I could flex and make it kind of dance around a little bit. But yeah, that's what I would do. Yep.
well, I think I would get an airplane circling the world.
Really? That would be fun.
If I were to get one. Yeah.
We've
Okay,
been
so
riding the fly pattern of the Grand Rapids Airport here the past 2 days. We've had many jets flying at a medium height over the house.
there's some fun websites where if there's a plane overhead, you can open up the app and it will see what it is and what plane it is and where it's going.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, in Traverse City, we used to get the international ones on their way from Chicago.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty fun to look up. So viewers, most of whom our viewers are mostly seniors. So seniors, if you were to get a fresh tattoo, what would you get? You can answer in the comments. It's a good question for the day.
Yeah. Aunt Sue has a tattoo.
Yes, her blood type. I remember this
Yes,
from
isn't that something?
my wedding shower. One of the games was everyone had to write down a secret fact about themselves. And her secret fact was I had a tattoo and I guessed it on the first try that it was Aunt Sue's fun fact. And it was because there was some program where they tattooed every kid's blood type on their body. Which
Oh
is
yeah,
why.
that's a something I've been to a couple of church events where they have you write down something unique about what you are and have people try and guess it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
You know,
Wow.
we played that at a junior high church retreat at Blythefield, and my question, stuff I shouldn't be saying on the internet, had to do with not returning a pair of shoes from the track team in middle school.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they probably didn't miss it.
It wasn't intentional, and I hope Mr. Vandenbosch isn't watching this, but I had forgotten to bring them back on the day that we were supposed to bring them back. And I calculated out that I would be in less trouble for them never finding out I ever had shoes than for me to bring them
Wow.
back 2 days late. So I just let them believe I never had any, and I just kept the shoes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was afraid of getting in trouble for them being late because I had forgotten them on the day I needed to bring them back.
Interesting.
And I would have been in level 10 trouble if that had ever been found out.
Wow.
But now I'm telling everyone on the internet.
Well, let's see. What for me, I was Chuck E. Cheese. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that was fun.
When I put the costume on and everything for one evening, they let me be Chuck E. Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And the hardest thing about being Chuck E. Cheese was that you really don't have a lot of peripheral vision. So you had to be really careful that you didn't, go sideways right into a kid or something. But that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely photo from John Scully. Beautiful summer.
And there's nobody at the beach, except there's something down there. Would that be a pigeon or something, or a gull?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe a gull sitting there.
Some of his photos are from pretty early in the morning.
Yeah, but
This is what all of us night people are missing.
I've got to get over there. I've got to make more use of my summer days here. We've been doing other things, but and of course now we're heading to the Canadian Rockies, so that should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yucca!
Yeah, a lovely one from Benzie.
We used to have some yucca here, believe it or not. By the way, do you know where you can find some cacti at Saugatuck State Park?
Really?
Yeah, if you go, to the end there, and then instead of going to the lake, you go the other way out in the field there, you can look and find some cacti. Which is really interesting, growing in the sand. Well, John, thank you for yet another wonderful picture. Oh, look at that. The fire pit going. Mm-hmm. Hot dog. Mm-hmm. Was that a picture we should have had for Hot Dog Day here yesterday or whatever?
I don't know. It came up as I was searching for, I don't know what photo I was searching for, but it looked like summer, so I thought I'd use it.
It is. And I'm the old Boy Scout. I remember cooking out over a fire. My dad and I once cooked like a 5-course gourmet meal over a fire in Illinois. We were not quite camping. But yeah, and of course, my dad lived in a tent for a year in World War II, so he got to cook over a fire.
Your mother, my grandma, when she was 98, came up to see us in Traverse, and we had s'mores on the beach. Mm-hmm. And on the property, which was shared for the association, you could go up the steps like a normal person, or you could climb up the rocks. And I want to say it was about 5 feet up, and it wasn't steps. And we were done with the campfire, and Grandma decided she was going up the rocks. And
Mhm.
we went rock climbing at 98 after we had our little s'more party on the beach. It was impressive.
Yeah, I had really thought that she had a good chance for making 105.
She never liked to be told no. You could not tell her she couldn't do it. I watched her get really mad at Aunt Ann once for trying to help her with something.
Yeah, and she would cook for us.
Hmm.
Mom and I would show up, and she would have dinner all planned out and everything at 99, 100 years old. And we
loved
all
her happy hour.
Triscuits and
Mhm.
a nice white cheese.
Triscuits, cheese, wine, and Lawrence Welk.
Yep, that's right. And I grew to really enjoy that routine. We still watch Lawrence Welk every now and then on Saturday nights on PBS, 7 o'clock.
And on her birthday, all she wanted was a contingency going to mass with her.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mhm.
And yeah, she had quite a life down there. She was one of the most prominent people there in the retirement home, and we would go in there and eat. But she never lost her appetite or anything like that, and was very active. She would say she liked to walk a mile a day and read a book a week.
And loved McDonald's.
Yes.
Up until she was 100, loved McDonald's.
It was interesting because she grew up in Winnetka, Illinois, where they didn't have fast food restaurants for the most part. And they put in a McDonald's, and she liked Ray Kroc, who founded McDonald's, at least the modern McDonald's. Ray Kroc funded Ravinia, and Mother was a big supporter of Ravinia, which is the home of the Chicago Symphony during the summer up in Ravinia is actually a little town between Glencoe and Highland Park. So, and you could take the train up there. You could get on the train in Wilmette and take the train up, listen to the concert, and then get back on the train and go back towards Chicago. And I remember many a happy night out there. And Seiji Ozawa was the conductor quite often. And yeah, it was the really wonderful summer nights up there.
Well, I'm sure I'll talk to you again off camera, but on camera, this is the last time I'm going to talk to you before your trip. So I will be here poorly producing your shows in your absence.
All right. Well, I wish you luck. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. And I will check my Facebook page for some pictures, because I'll be taking some pictures en route.
Yeah, I've never thought I would be an amateur meteorologist.
Yeah, well, there's a lot on the web. There's a lot on the web, and I know a lot of really good forecasters that are almost self-taught. That, I spend a lot of time looking at averages and recording. I have a whole file here of weather that I write down every day. I write down the high and low temperature and the precipitation and the average wind speed and the percent of sunshine and all that. So I just enjoy doing that.
Well, I am going to channel my Laura Velasquez, Ginger Z, Linda Page, Ellen Baca. Who am I forgetting? It'll be okay.
Sure. Yeah, but sure, go for it.
Oh, Terry. Can't forget Terry.
Yes, right. Well, there's a lot of good female meteorologists out there. And there were when I was coming in. When I first got in, we had people like Valerie Voss, who was a graduate of Northern Illinois that was doing weather. She retired, I think, to a boat in the Caribbean. We're talking about never wanting to see snow again.
That's what we're all trying to do. Yeah,
for the time being, anyway. Oh, Kitty's shaking her head. Yeah, you're waking up. How you want to come in and say hi for a minute? Oh, big yawn. Oh, we'll get her some treats here in a minute. All right. But again, if you need anything from me en route, just send me an email and I'll grab it every now and then. In the meantime, everybody, from Mr. Hot Dog here, thank you so much for staying with us here until the end. We'll have a lot to share from my trip to the Canadian Rockies and the West Coast. That'll be coming up here starting on Saturday and lasting for 10 days. And then we'll be back and we'll welcome the month of August after that. If there's something you'd like to see here, let us know. We're at billsteffen.com. YouTube is at Bill Steffen 616. Have yourself an awesome Thursday.